G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, like the NRL video I put out a week or two ago, we're now predicting the rest of the AFL season. So we are roughly about halfway through the season now. I thought I'd use Squiggle to predict the rest of the AFL season. Now, this is going to drop on Friday, and this game's played tonight when I'm recording this. So who knows what happens. St Kilda might win, but I tipped Sydney, so I am going to back the Swans there. Bulldogs against Port Adelaide. I tipped Power in this one. I think they're going to be too good for the Dogs. Lions should... Oh, my God. My bloody phone, I tell you. It's just been blowing up at the moment. I apologise. Should be a pretty easy win there for the Crows. We'll look at the ladder for round 15, round 20, and then I think it's round 23 the week before the season ends. Freo and Richmond. I think Fremantle will get the win there. North Melbourne versus GWS. GWS should win this one, but I don't think it'll be a comfortable win. I've got Carlton winning this one. I think they will make a bit of a run late in the season. I reckon Melbourne in a close one there. Then we've got round 14, Port Adelaide against Geelong. Look, I think at Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide win, but in a close game. Lions against the Swans. Look, I think the Lions are going to be too strong in that one. GWS against Freo. At home, GWS might actually win that, so I'm going to tip GWS in that one. Richmond against the Saints. You don't know what Richmond team we're going to see. I think the Saints win that one. Carlton against Gold Coast. I think this will be a cracker of a game. I'm going to tip Carlton in a close one. Bulldogs should win there. I'm going to tip the Cats in a close one here. St Kilda against Brisbane should be a relatively easy win for the Lions. Swans, I think, win this one by 33. I go for the West Coast Eagles. Does it hurt? Yes. Freo and Essendon. I think this will be a decent game. I'm backing Fremantle in that one. Collingwood and Adelaide. I think Collingwood win this one quite comfortably. And then a decent win there for the Suns. So we're looking at the ladder at the moment. Collingwood and Port Adelaide atop the table. Lions in third. D's in fourth. Saints, Bulldogs, Fremantle and Geelong make up the rest of the top 8. But if you look at this, there are 5 teams on 7 wins. So, a very, very close season this year. So I think, I think it'll be very interesting. Lions and Richmond, I think Lions win that one. I'm going to go Swans. I'm going to go Swans in that. Western Bulldogs against Fremantle. I think Dogs at Docklands win that one. I think Adelaide get a good win here. Collingwood should win this one. Essendon against Port Adelaide. It will be a good game, I think. I think Essendon come out with it. Or actually, no, I'm going to change that. I think we're going to go Port Adelaide. I just think Port Adelaide are going to be really hard to beat this year. Hawthorn against Carlton. Look, I think Hawthorn will put up a fight, but I do think Carlton come out of that with a win. Melbourne against GWS. Melbourne should win that one by 4 goals. Should be a good win there for the Saints. Richmond against Sydney. I think at the G, I think Richmond get the job done there. Western Bulldogs against Collingwood. I'm going to go Collingwood in a close one. Lions with a... All right, 118 points to 32 we'll go. I didn't want to do a manual one there, but it prompted me to, so we did it. I think that'll be a close win for the Giants. D's, I think we'll get a win there. Port Adelaide should get a decent win over the Suns. Geelong against North Melbourne. The Cats should win that one. Maybe not by that margin, but I think they'll still win it relatively comfortably. Close win there for Essendon. I think Freo get the job done there in Perth. Sydney against the Western Bulldogs. I think Sydney win this. I think the Dogs will be tough to beat, but I think Sydney get the job done there. Melbourne against the Lions at the G. I think Melbourne win that. Collingwood against Freo. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I think Collingwood are going to have a fantastic season. I really do. And I predicted them earlier on in the year that they'd miss the top 8. So that was a crazy prediction there. I think Suns get the job done there. Port Adelaide are going to be tough to beat, so I'm going power there. Geelong with a pretty decent win there. Adelaide against GWS. I think Adelaide win that one comfortably. North Melbourne against Hawthorn. Look, I think Hawthorn win this one quite well. Richmond should get a decent win over my Eagles. Essendon against the Bulldogs. I think Dogs win that. I think the Dogs win. Richmond against Hawthorn. I think Richmond win, but I don't think it'll be an absolute blowout. I think Carlton should get a good win there. Lions against the Cats at the Gabba. I've got the Lions winning that one. Port Adelaide against Collingwood. Cracker of a game. I'm going to say in a close win, Port Adelaide get the job done. Port Adelaide get the job done there. Fremantle against Sydney. That's tough. It should be a Freo win here, especially at Optus. I'm going to go Fremantle. I think the Giants. So I think the Suns win this one. My apologies. Adelaide versus Melbourne at the G. I think Melbourne get the job done there. St Kilda should get a relatively easy win there. Carlton won't beat Collingwood, in my opinion, in this late in the season. Geelong against Freo. I think Geelong win this one, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think the Dogs get a good win over the Giants. I think this one will be a very entertaining game. I'm going the Lions by only one goal. Essendon, I think, will get a good win over the Swans. Adelaide against Port Adelaide. I think this is going to be a cracker of a game. I am leaning towards power in that one, though. Hawthorn against the Saints. I think Hawthorn will be competitive for a lot of this year. I know I've only got them at 4 wins, but I think they will be competitive, and then the D's should win that one. At home, I'm going to tip a very, very close game. All right, so round 20 is in the books. Let's look at the ladder. So not much changes in the top 8, but then you've got 4 teams on 9 wins that realistically could make probably 7th to 8th. So from about 7th to about 13, I think the competition is well and truly alive. And then I think the top 6 teams are pretty close to locked in for the finals. So let's do this. So we'll go through 2 more rounds and then we'll have a look at it before the final round of the year. So Bulldogs should get a good win there. Essendon, I think, will get a comfortable win there. I think it'll be a pretty decent win there for Adelaide. Hawthorn against Collingwood. That'll be that should be an easy win. Should be, maybe not that much. We'll go 22. Geelong against Port Adelaide. Look, I think Geelong get the job done there. That'll be an upset, but I do think they win that one. Next up, we've got... Oh, this is always a cracker. I'm going to go Giants. Slight upset by 4 points. North Melbourne against Melbourne. That'll be a pretty easy win for the D's. St Kilda against Carlton. The Saints should win that one. Fremantle against Brisbane at Optus. I'm going to go Fremantle in a very close game. Could be a bold pick, but we're going there. Collingwood against Geelong. I think I've got to go the Pies. North Melbourne against Essendon. Essendon should win that one. And then I'm going to tip, I don't know if it'll be an upset that late, but I am tipping Gold Coast in that one. Lions should get the job done there. Carlton and Melbourne. Melbourne should win that one quite comfortably. Look, I think this will be slightly close, but I still think Freo get the job done. Hawthorn against the Bulldogs. I think the Dogs win that one. St Kilda against Richmond. I think the Saints get up in that one. Port Adelaide against GWS. Yeah, Port Adelaide win that one comfortably. So then we've got Collingwood against Brisbane. I'm going to go Collingwood by 8. Richmond should get a decent win there. Gold Coast and Carlton. I'm going to go Gold Coast by 8 points in that one. GWS and Essendon. I think it'll be close, but I think Essendon win that one. St Kilda against Geelong. I think the Cats get up here. Although, yeah, I'm going to go... I don't think it'll be by that much. We'll go by 8. I think the Crows win this one by 2 goals. Western Bulldogs should get a relatively good win there. Melbourne against Hawthorn. D's, yeah, should win that one comfortably, let's be real. I'm going to go Freo by a goal over Port Adelaide. Look, I don't think Port Adelaide and Collingwood are unbeatable, but I do think they'll be tough this year. Lions with a pretty good... Oh, hang on. Where am I up to? Okay, so that was the last game. All right, that's fine. We want to have a look at the ladder before we go into this. So Collingwood have pretty much locked in that minor premiership. So good on the Magpies. The top four is locked in. The only thing is Port Adelaide could move down to fourth with a loss in round 24. And if Melbourne and Brisbane win, they move up. Western Bulldogs, St Kilda and Fremantle are pretty much locked into that top eight. However, depending on results, Essendon, Adelaide and Gold Coast could jump up into the eight. So let's see how we go. I think Carlton win this one. As I said, I think Collingwood should win this one quite comfortably. Geelong against the Bulldogs. Yeah, I think Geelong win that. All right, Hawthorn against Fremantle. Look, none of this really matters now. It's just placings in the top eight now. Freo should get the job done there. This sucks for the Suns. I think they get a good win over the Kangaroos, but unfortunately they don't make the finals. Sydney against Melbourne. I am going to back Sydney at home. Oh, no, I think Melbourne win that. Pretty dominant win here for Port Adelaide. West Coast and Adelaide, again, unfortunate, but I think Adelaide just miss finals. The only thing would be, I could see Adelaide potentially making the top eight, but I am going to stick with how I've predicted here. The only change I would probably make is I think Adelaide probably will make the top eight, but I'm I'm not sure. But yeah, I think out of these four teams, I don't know. I'm going to go with what I've said. So we're going to run it like this. Collingwood and Brisbane. I think at the G, I think Collingwood win. I think Collingwood beat the Lions. Western Bulldogs against the Saints. I think the Saints are in for a pretty big year, but I do think if it comes to this, Dogs win that one. Fremantle against Geelong. Look, Geelong have been good in patches this year, but they've also struggled as well. I think over in Perth, Fremantle get the job done there. And in Adelaide, I'm going to Port Adelaide in that one. So then we've got the Lions against the Bulldogs and Melbourne against Fremantle. So do I see any upsets here? Not really. I think the Lions are going to be too good there. And then I think the D's are going to be too good there. So that's the final four, 1 through to 4. That's it. That's what it comes down to. So we've got first, third, and second versus fourth. Oh, this would be such an interesting matchup here. I'm going to go a bit left field. I think Collingwood are going to have an amazing season, but I reckon they fall in the prelims to Melbourne. So I'm picking Melbourne there. And then, home at like Port Adelaide, I think will be too strong for the Lions, especially if they've got a home preliminary final. I think they'll be too good. I'm tipping Port Adelaide, which then gives me Melbourne against Port Adelaide in the grand final. Holy heck! I did not think we would see that, to be honest. Like at the start of the year, if you'd asked me who it would be, Melbourne and Port Adelaide in the grand final, I would have said Melbourne. Yeah, maybe Port Adelaide. Probably not even making the 8. But yeah, look, if it comes down to these two, depending on injuries and momentum and stuff, I think a relatively well-rested Port Adelaide, I think they can do it. I'm tipping Port Adelaide to win the flag, guys. Let me know who you would tip down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for tuning into this one. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.